And now, here he is, the one, the only...
It's nothing to shout about. They're a dime a dozen. See, George.
Groucho, we have a housewife and a married man for you tonight. Mrs. Grace Searock and Mr. Sam Joya. Would you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx?
Say the secret word and you'll divide $100. It's a common word, something you always have with me, with you. Grace Searock, huh? Oh, I saw that picture. Disney made that, huh? I'll call you Grace, huh?
Sure, everybody does.
Everybody? Does he call you Grace?
No, I don't know him.
You said everybody. You don't mind if I call you Grace, huh?
No, not at all.
You're a housewife, huh? You're one of the tiniest housewives I've ever seen. What weight do you fight in there?
Well, I'm 4'11", weigh 95 pounds.
Well, you certainly aren't the large economy size, are you? What is your, Sam Joya?
Yeah, that's right.
Could you spell that for the audience? It's a kind of an odd name. I don't think they've ever seen anything like that.
G-I-O-I-A.
G-I-O-I-A, yeah.
That's right.
What kind of isn't that a song? G-I-O-I-A. Old MacDonald had a farm. G-I-O-I-A. I knew it rang some kind of a bell. What kind of a name is Goya?
It's an Italian name.
Oh, Italian, huh? Whereabouts in Italy do you hail from, Sam?
Sicilia.
Sicilia?
Yes, sir.
Oh, well, that's nice country down there, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
I was over there last summer, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was there about 8, 9 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's why we didn't run into each other. How old are you, Sam?
I'm 63 years old.
63. Well, you're a young-looking Sam. Are you married?
Yes, I am married. I got a wife and 2 children. I went back to Italy and got married. Come back here with my wife.
Oh, what's the matter? Didn't you like the American girls?
No, too many bosses. They want to boss too much.
What does it take to make an Italian girl happy, Sam? Apparently
Well,
they're
it
much
takes,
easier to satisfy, huh?
A good home and lots to eat.
You mean all you need in Italy to get a girl is a little house and a few cans of spaghetti?
That's right. That's right.
Well, if Gina Lola Brigida is listening, I own my own home and I have a whole cellar full of spaghetti. This may not work, but I'd be a fool not to try. Let's get back to you. Where did you meet your husband?
Well, Charlie and I worked in the...
Charlie, is that your husband?
Yeah.
Oh.
Worked in an underwear factory.
You worked in an underwear factory? What was your job there?
Oh, I sewed buttons.
What was his job there?
He made buttonholes.
Well, you were certainly made for each other, weren't you? Well, tell us some more about your romance, Grace. Did you and Charlie have much time for each other in this underwear factory?
Well, I sew buttons pretty fast, and I'd catch up to him, you know. And
He was slower with the buttonholes?
yeah, he was slower with the buttonholes. So I'd go to his machine and talk to him till the marking girls marked the underwear where I have to put the button.
You remember that old joke, Sam? What do you got under there?
What? What?
Oh, you killed it. You're supposed to say underwear. And I say under there, and then you say underwear, and we keep it up like that until the audience leaves the theater. That's another joke that helped to kill boredom. Grace, I don't know when I've been so stirred by a love story. You ought to write a book about it. You could call it Red Flannels in the Sunset. Or Life in the Underworld. Well, you're a very nice couple, and it's been fun talking to you. And now let's see if you can make some money. You both know how to play this gimmick that we foister on the audience every week?
Yeah.
Now, you selected music, is that right? What are you going to try?
About 60.
60. The orchestra will play a song that will always be associated with the name of Al Jolson. Now, you tell me what it is. Play, Jack. you don't know, guess.
Raining rain, it's raining violets, or...
What's the title?
When April showers.
April showers.
Good. And you now have $160.
Now what do you want to try?
50? Should I try 50?
50.
All right, 50.
Here's an old song that originated in Germany half a century ago. It's been universally popular ever since. Now, you tell us what it is. Music, Mr. Mikan. Mikan. Talk it over with
Firefly or...
All right, what is the answer? No, you were flirting with it. Yeah, it's glowworm.
Glowworm, firefly.
Yeah.
Well, you lost half your $160 and now have $80.
All right, now don't get discouraged. You still have a long way to go. What are you going to try now?
40? Try 40?
40. The orchestra's going to play one of Irving Berlin's most popular numbers. It was written in 1911. What is it? Play, Jack.
Alexander's Ragtime Band.
Okay, Alexander's Ragtime Band.
And you now have $120.
Now what do you want to try?
Down the easy ones.
Easy one?
30.
All right, 30. What is Sir Thomas Beecham's role in the world of music? Sir Thomas Beecham. Just what is his job in the field of music?
Never heard of them.
Well, he's one of the most famous musical conductors in the whole world.
You wind up with $60.
Well, how much did they win?
$60. We invited some professional models to our show, Groucho.
Oh, you're talking.
And just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Miss Marilyn Messenkopf to be on the show, and her partner is Mr. Earl Wiedemann. So, folks, you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you always have with you. Earl Wiedemann and Marilyn Misanthrope.
Mary Lou.
Mary Lou Misanthrope, is that right?
Messenkopf.
Oh, Messenkopf, huh? Yeah, Mr. Wiedemann, you don't mind if I talk to Mary Lou first, huh?
Why, no, I don't see a nice-looking lady like that. Why you should talk to me at all?
Well, as a matter of fact, I hadn't planned on talking to you. I was just kind of break it to you kind of easy. Mary Lou, you're a model, huh?
Yes, sir, I am.
They used to say a model is an imitation of the real thing, but that's not true in this particular case. You're a beautiful girl, and
Well, thank you.
I wish I was 13 years old. You're certainly a healthy-looking specimen now. Where are you from originally?
I'm from Gonzales, and that's in the Salinas Valley, 120 miles south of San Francisco.
Gonzales. I've been through there many times. Isn't that the lettuce capital of America?
We like to call it Salad Bowl of America.
You call it the salad bowl? Mm-hmm. Who calls it this, huh?
Oh, everybody that lives in the valley.
Uh-huh. How old are you, Earl?
I'm 67.
67, huh? Well, you're a fine-looking man for 67.
I feel lots younger than that.
Well, you look around 50.
Because I never had a sick day in my life, and I've never been in a hospital.
Well, I'm very happy to hear that. As a matter of fact, I could tell you were young by the way you were casing Mary Lou here. Just remember, Earl, that when you're traveling over 60, you have to slow down around the curves. What kind of business are you in, Mr. Wiedemann?
I'm in the sheep business.
Sheep rancher?
Yeah, sheep rancher, yeah.
Well, you sure pulled the wool over my eyes. How big is your sheep ranch?
Oh, we got 864 acres.
That's a pretty big place, huh? Well, I know practically nothing about sheep. How do they compare with, say, cattle? I don't know anything about cattle either. Well, are sheep really as dumb as we're led to believe?
Oh, no, I think they're very, very smart. Particularly, to herd sheep, you've got to know more than the sheep.
Well, that lets me out, huh? Well, if sheep are so smart, why are they always getting fleeced?
Well, I don't know. I don't think they get fleeced so often.
Well, are you interested in any other activities aside from sheep and Mary Lou?
Oh, yes. I'm president of the Gloria Soil Conservation District. And
Soil conservation? No, we're getting down to earth. Just what is soil conservation, Earl?
Well, soil conservation is
It's the conserving of soil, I should imagine.
Sure. We're trying to save that little narrow strip of topsoil that we have left.
You mean throughout the United States?
Throughout the United States, or else and it seems to me like that the city people ought to begin to get interested in soil conservation, or they'll be just like China for some of the generations to come, I'm sure.
You mean we're wasting our natural resources?
We're absolutely throwing it away.
It's true. We're a wasteful country, and it's about time we wake up and start safeguarding what nature has endowed us with.
That's right.
Half of the United States is in the Gulf of Mexico, you know. It's been washed through the Missouri River and Mississippi and down through all the rivers. Mary Lou, who do you work for, Mary Lou?
Denny and Riggs Model Agency.
What is it?
Denny and Riggs Model Agency.
I've been Dunning Riggs for years. They've yet to send me a model. Did you have to go to school to learn modeling?
Oh, yes. There's a lot more to it than meets the eye.
I hope so. That's one of the most fervent wishes I've ever made. But what did you learn at modeling school?
Oh, you learn makeup and how to fix your hair, and poise, and charm, etiquette, and, even how to get in and out of a car.
How to get in and out of a car?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't have any trouble getting in an automobile.
Well, you don't
Not
know?
mine, anyhow. You might have a little difficulty getting out, but... What do they teach you about getting in and out of a car?
Well, first of all, when
I thought that came naturally.
when your escort gets out to go around and let you out, open the door for you, it's kind of awkward just to sit there. So in the meantime, you slide over to the side.
To the side where your escort is?
No, to the side of where he's going to let you out.
Oh.
Which is on the right-hand side of the car. And then he opens the door, and you put your legs out first, and while you're doing this, you make eyes at him and give him a big smile.
You stick your legs out and they make eyes at your escort?
That's right.
Mary Lou, I don't quite understand. Why should you be making with the eyes when you're getting out of a car?
Well, to attract attention from your legs.
You ashamed of them?
Well, no, but when you're getting out of the car, they're in a very awkward position.
Oh, they're hanging down this way, huh?
Really, it's
I'll tell you what
difficult.
you do. You show the audience your legs and roll your eyes at the same time. Go ahead.
I really can't.
Well, just do it up to here.
Just up to there? Okay.
Now, is there one man in the audience who can tell me the color of her eyes? Well, let's play You Bet Your Life. Huh?
In the race for the $1,000, the first couple won $60, and the secret word is foot.
You select a general information quiz, and remember, the more the question is worth, the harder it is. And remember your partners, one answer between you. Now, what do you want to start with?
$70.
70? Okay. According to Greek mythology, where did the gods live?
Well, I can't answer, Smithy.
Greek mythology, where did the gods live? On Mount Olympus. That's not a very hard question. Even I knew that.
You did not.
You...
Yes, I did.
Well,
Ask Fenneman.
I think he knew it, yeah.
well, I don't think he did. Sure. You look at me just as blank as I was at him.
As a matter of fact, I didn't, but I was trying to make you feel good. As a matter of fact, I don't know anything.
Neither do I.
You still have $50.
Well, that's all right.
Now what are you going to go for?
We're going to go for $20.
For $20. Who lives at number 10 Downing Street?
Winston Churchill.
That's right. Winston Churchill is...
You now have $70.
Now what are you going to go for? The big ones are hard, the little ones are easy. 50? 50? What is the name of the London residence of Queen Elizabeth?
Jesus, just heard it the other day, too.
Yo, what is it? Is that it?
Buckingham?
Oh.
You lost half your 70, now have $35.
All right, now here's your last chance to be the other couples. What are you going to go for?
How's that?
Well, let's go for the 40.
40, so we got them in just this morning.
Yeah, they're good, huh?
What do you call the last car on a freight train?
Caboose.
That's right.
And you wind up with $75. Well, Groucho, we have some special people we'd like you to meet right now. Dr. E.A. Peterson and Miss Edith Head. Folks, would you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you always have with you. Edith, I'm glad to see you.
I'm delighted to be here, Groucho.
In case there's someone who may not know it, Edith Head is the top dress designer in the movie industry. I'm sure you've seen her name on hundreds of pictures. Edith, I haven't seen you since I made pictures at Paramount.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I haven't seen anybody at Paramount since I made pictures there. How long have you been in the picture business, Edith?
Over 20 years.
That long, huh? You must have started when you were about 12, huh?
Well, I remember doing clothes for your picture.
Let's see, you're Dr. Peterson? How are you? Well, I was pretty good until that last thing she threw at me. What does the EA stand for, Doc?
Ethan Allen.
Ethan Allen, huh? You must be one of the Green Mountain doctors, huh?
They must have been patriotic when I was born.
And they're not now?
They, on June 17th, that's the Battle of Bunker Hill Day. So they named me Ethan Allen.
Well, if your family was that patriotic, you're lucky you weren't born during National Pickle Week.
Well, that's an idea.
You'd be known as E.A. Pickle. What kind of a doctor are you, Doctor?
Osteopathic physician and surgeon.
Oh. What's the difference between an osteopath and a chiropractor?
We think there's quite a difference in the background of the education and the training.
You must save a fortune on haircuts, don't you?
Well, I try. I was going to ask if I did it here in my head. But, well, I do, but you know what happens? My wife gives me a little trimming every once in a while, and so...
She does? Well, what wife doesn't? Huh?
Well, that's true, but she requires 50 cents every time, you see.
Well, right, I'll get back to you, Doc. I'd like a word with Miss Head here. Edith. You know, I'll call you Edith, huh?
Will you?
Well, how do you go about designing clothes for an important actress?
Well, you actually do what the script tells you. In other words, if the script says the girl runs and jumps over the fence and is chased by a cow, why, naturally you do a full skirt. Or if it says she's out in the rain, you do something that looks pretty when it gets wet. And you work with the producer, and you work with the director, and you work with the cameraman and the star, and of course women are all difficult, including stars. And then when you're all through, you do the sketches, and if they like them, you make the clothes, and then you test them, and you put them on the screen.
Well, what about this girl jumping over the fence with the cow?
Well, that is just an example of what you have to do, you see.
Well, what would she wear?
She would wear a very full skirt and a lot of petticoats and very, very, very pretty underwear.
You don't know where she is now, huh? You don't need an assistant over there, do you?
Not for...
a good buttonhole maker?
Not for men.
No? Edith, you've won a lot of Academy Awards, as I recall, haven't you?
Yes, I've been awfully lucky. I have 5 of them.
Nah, that isn't luck. Not when you win 5. You can win 1 by luck. When you win 5, you must have achieved something pretty important. What do you consider your best job?
I think the last picture I did, it was a picture called Roman Holiday, and Audrey Hepburn in that played a dual role, and I had to make her into 2 people, you see.
Mm-hmm. You don't remember what you did with the other one, huh? Doctor, what is your name?
Ethan Allen Peterson, Groucho.
Ethan Allen. You must be one of the Green Mountain Boys, huh?
Should we start in the beginning?
And what is your business? What profession are you?
Osteopathic physician and surgeon.
You're a doctor, huh?
That's right.
An osteopath. Well, how does that differ from a chiropractor?
Well, shall I tell you the whole
I've seen him
story?
someplace before.
Really?
Well, tell us, since you're a doctor, how does a doctor relax? Do you have any hobbies, like sending your patients a bill?
Well, that's a good hobby, but sailing used to be my hobby.
Sailing?
Sailing.
Sailing
Over the
bounding main, you mean?
Over the bounding main.
Oh. Where did you do your sailing, Doc?
Well, one time I
Down
sailed...
the park here and
no.
locally?
One time I sailed from Shanghai to San Pedro.
From Shanghai to... was this
China.
in the bar of the Lawlene?
No,
What
it
kind of a
was,
ship did you sail on?
Well, a very interesting little ship, Groucho. A Chinese junk.
That's what my laundry looks like when it comes back. Well, could you tell us something about the trip? I'm sure there must be half a dozen people in our audience who have never sailed the Pacific in a Chinese junk.
Well, we started from Shanghai.
Stick in the muds.
We started from Shanghai, and our first port of call was to be Yokohama, Japan, a distance of 1,000 miles. But after we lost sight of the
What do you
China
mean,
coast-
well,
my wife was with me. So we got to
Did you catch your own food as you went along? Or
We fished all the time.
You're quite a hero. Weren't you scared on this boat, traveling for 84 days?
Oh, yes, you're bound to be frightened out there.
Did you meet sharks, follow the boat? or
Whales,
anything? Whales?
Pancho.
Well, they're not dangerous, are they?
No, but a 60-foot whale is pretty frightening when he comes up alongside of a 36-foot boat.
Wait a minute, you said foot. You know, I was all ready to play the quiz game. Why didn't I keep my mouth shut? Now it costs $100. You said the secret word foot, so you get $50.
I get it, too.
And yes, you get $50.
You're my partner.
Well, I've learned almost nothing about fashion here tonight and Chinese junks. Let's play You Bet Your Life.
In the race for the $1,000, the second couple is leading with $75.
Well, now, you selected cooking quiz, is that right? That's kind of a strange quiz for a designer of clothes, isn't it? Now, what do you want to start with?
I think the
start with
man should
The
choose.
doctor?
Let's start with 100.
All right.
$100, all right. What is the name of the dish made from bits of meat and cornmeal? It's then sliced from a mold and fried. It's particularly popular in Philadelphia.
Scrapple.
Scrapple is right.
I'm sorry, I should have asked
Off to a great start, you have $200.
Now, what do you want to try?
90.
you. Please.
90. What do you call a French pancake folded and served in a sauce that's usually set ablaze?
Crepe Suzette.
Crepe Suzette's all right.
Now I have $290.
It's a sharp cookie you've got in tow here, Doc, eh? Now what are you going to go for?
80?
80, all right.
What variety of vegetable is a Kentucky wonder?
String.
String bean. String bean.
String bean is right, huh?
Now I have $370.
All right, here's your last chance to beat the other couples. What are you going to go for?
The next one.
70.
70. All right, when deer meat is served, what is it called?
Venison.
Well, they know the answer. They don't even have to know the question. They know the answer. It's venison.
And you wind up with $440.
All right, here we go for $1,000. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer. Think carefully and please no help from the audience. One of the 7 wonders of the ancient world was an enormous statue honoring Apollo. It was erected on an island in the Aegean Sea. For $1,000, what is the name of this ancient wonder? Talk it over. Don't kiss her, Doc. Just talk it over.
I think so. Yeah.
Shall we tell you?
All right, what is the answer you two have decided upon?
Colossus of Rhodes.
The Colossus of Rhodes is absolutely right. You better give him a big kiss.
Why, it's wonderful.
Well, you win $1,000. How much in the quiz, George?
The whole thing, $440.
And the secret word?
Oh, and this?
Yes.
And the secret word? How much is it, George? The whole
Altogether,
total? Yeah.
$1,540.
What are you going to do with all that swag?
What are you going to do with yours, Doc?
I've got to give it to my wife, I'm afraid.
Well, I feel sorry for you. And you, Edith?
I think I'll give mine to charity because I know a lot of people who need it this time of year.
Well, that's very sweet and very thoughtful. And Edith, I'll give you my address because charity begins at home.
And now, here he is, the one, the only...
It's nothing to shout about. They're a dime a dozen. Well, here I am again with $2,000 for one of our couples, and if any of them say the secret word, the duck will come down and pay them each $50.50. George, who's first?
Well, Groucho, Mrs. Sylvia Thompson and her partner Ben Zeppo are waiting to talk to you. Mrs. Thompson is a housewife and Ben is a schoolboy. So, folks, you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Say the secret word and you'll divide $101. It's a common word, something you always have with you. Now, let's see. Sylvia Thompson and Ben Zeppo, eh? You make quite a combination there. Sylvia, how tall are you?
I'm 6'1" in my stocking feet and almost 6'4" in my heels.
No. Are you married, Sylvia?
Yes, I am.
Well,
I have a little girl.
Takes care of you all. You have a little girl?
Uh-huh. She's 5 months old.
5 months old, huh? How tall is your husband?
He's 6'6" in his stocking feet.
No. Well, do you all walk around your stocking feet?
Sure.
Don't you wear any shoes at all in your house?
No, heavens, no.
Well, together you're 13 feet, huh?
Yeah.
Just about. Well, that's an advantage. At least you're never short at the end of the month like most married couples. How did you meet this dinosaur, Sylvia?
Dinosaur?
Well, this giant that captivated you.
Well, we were at a tip-topper dance, and
You were where?
I met him at a tip-topper dance.
Tip-topper dance.
Yeah, we were dancing.
So what do you do? Go walk around, tip your tops?
No, that's a club.
That's a club?
That's a club for tall people.
Oh.
The girls have to be 6 foot in their stocking feet. Stocking feet.
Here we go again. Well, you sound like you and your husband make an ideal couple, Sylvia, and if I ever wind up sitting in back of you in a movie theater, I'm certainly going to ask for my money back. Your name is Ben Gazzara?
Who?
Ben Gazzara, is that your name?
No, Ben Zeppo.
Ben Zeppo, eh? That's my brother, Zeppo. You're not my brother, are you?
My name's Ben Zeppo.
You say the sacred word, Ben Zeppo. So you and your partner each get $50.50. Okay, beat it. There you are, and you'll get the 50 cents later. We just don't have any change.
I didn't know what I said.
How old are you, Ben?
13.
13. Huh? You must lead a very clean life because you don't look a day over 30. You know, I never was 13 years old. I was 12 once. In fact, I was 12 for about 8 years. In fact, all the brothers were. When we used to travel in Baltimore, if you were 12 or under, then you went on half fare on the railroad train. And for years, we traveled this way. I remember once my mother used to travel with us, and we didn't need her, but she thought we did. And the conductor came along and asked for the tickets, and she gave him 4 half-fare tickets. And he says, "Where are the kids?" And she said, "Well, they're around the train someplace." And he looked in the washroom, and Harper was shaving in there. This is true. And the other 2 boys were in the baggage car shooting dice. And I was making a play for a dame across the aisle. The conductor come back and says, "Mrs. Marx, if these kids of yours are under 12, I'm too young to be running this train," and he jumped off at the next station. Actually, how old are you, Ben?
13.
13. Now, you're sticking to that story, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any brothers and sisters? Now, talk slowly so I can get this stogie lit, huh?
I have 3 brothers. And
Talk slower, huh?
I have 3 brothers and 1...
Okay, speed it up.
I have 3 brothers and 1 sister.
Oh. How do you get along with your brothers and sisters?
Okay, all except for my little brother, 6, Jimmy. I tell him to come in the house, and I go and get him, and he won't come, so I hit him, and he starts crying, and he comes to my mother, and my mother gives me heck, so if I don't get him, I get heck, and if I get him, I get heck.
Well, do you always have to get them? Isn't there any of the other brothers that could get them?
No, I'm the biggest. I'm the only one that can get him.
Oh, well, you're the only one that can handle him, huh? Well, you have to realize Jimmy's just a baby. You should never hit a little kid like that. The thing to do is to disintegrate him with a ray gun. Well, you're a charming couple, and I hope you both make a lot of money tonight, because right now we're going to play You Bet Your Life. We start you off with $100, and you miss a question, you lose half your bankroll. Now, you selected the musical category, and these are all top tunes of the last 20 years. And remember, the more the question is worth, the harder it is. Now, what do you want to start with? 10, 20, 50, all the way to 100?
100.
Now, this song was written in 1936, but it became very popular in 44. Let's see if you can remember it. Play, Jack. It's Poinciana.
You lost half your 100. You still have $50.
What are you going to go for?
80. 90. 90.
90? Originally, this was an old sea shanty, and that became a big hit when a new set of lyrics were added. What is it?
Bell-bottom trousers.
Sing it, Ben. Sing it. Now, what are you going to go for? 80, 50, 30?
80.
$80. This song was written by Ray Noble. Now, you give me the title of it. What is it?
The very thought of you.
The very thought of you was absolutely on the button. Huh?
You now have $220.
Now, it's your last chance to beat the other couples. What are you going to go for? 70 $70. $70. This novelty song was a big hit a few years ago. Let's see if you can identify it. Play, Jack.
How much is that doggy in the window?
You ought to be ashamed to take the money, Ben. That's a pretty easy question for $70.
And you wind up with $290. Well, Groucho, just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Mr. Robert McLeod to be on the show tonight, and his partner is Mrs. Pearl Money. Folks, would you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide $101. It's a common word, something you always have with you. Pearl Money and Robert, what is it?
McLeod.
McLeod, huh? Oh. Mrs. Money, last time I saw you, you were in my wallet. Where are you from?
Sadlersville, Tennessee.
Where?
Sadlersville, Tennessee.
Sadlersville? You're from the South, huh? And you're actually Confederate money, huh? Well, no more jokes about money. Enough is enough. Mr. McLeod, where are you from? Sweden?
No, I'm from a place called Queen's Park, which is in the west side of Glasgow, Scotland.
Oh. Well, where do you work?
I'm at the Beverly Hilton Hotel in the Red Lion Bar.
What do you do there? Do you serve short beers?
No, I'm a bartender, but I sort of think of myself as a practitioner, you know. Take the beefs about their wives and this and that, and the next thing, you know.
Do you know any Scotch songs, Scotty?
Oh, I know a few.
Can you?
Practically every Scotsman, you know, Roman and the Gloamin', I Love a Lassie, Duck and Doris, Nice to Get Up in the Morning. That was one of Harry Lauder's favourites.
Oh, Nice to Get Up in the Morning?
Yes.
Well, could you sing a few bars of that for the customers?
Certainly.
Well, tell us, huh?
Oh, it's nice to get up in the morning when the sun begins to shine at 4 or 5 or 6 o'clock in the good old summertime.
Good man.
But when the snow was snowing and it's murky overhead, oh, it's nice to get up in the morning, but it's better to lie in your bed.
Hey! Pearl, you're married?
Yes.
How did you meet your husband, Mr. Money?
I went into a restaurant to get some information, and he was sitting on a stool talking to another gentleman in reference to what he was going to have to learn when he went into the Army. So he asked...
Was this a bar room?
No, it was just a regular restaurant.
Uh-huh.
He
You mean he was going in the Army and he wasn't in a barroom?
No, he probably had been before he got there because he had a
load on?
cut over his eye, and his eye was bleeding. And
He was bleeding over the eye?
yes. And I asked him if he would like me to drive him to a doctor.
How long after this did you nail him?
Well, the next day.
You were a shy little thing, weren't you? I've heard of speedy marriages, but this must set a record of some kind. Weren't you a little worried about the consequences of this hasty decision?
I sure was. I didn't have time to tell him I'd had 3 children by a former marriage.
It was a bad week for this fellow, wasn't it? First he gets a crack on his skull, then he gets married, and then the next day he finds out he's the father of 3 children. What kind of work does your husband do now?
We do tree service work.
Tree service?
Yes.
What kind of a business is that?
Well, we top and trim and remove trees. And by the way, our location is 332 Southwestern. Running tree service.
Whoa. Well, I'll remember that in case I want anything removed in my house. Like some relatives, huh? And do the children love their newfound father?
Oh, yes, very much so.
How old are the kids?
Well, the oldest one is 23, and the next one's 22, and the next one's 21, the next one's 5, and the next one's 4.
Oh, there have been some new bushes since the... Well, keep it up, Pearl, because if there's one thing we need out here is more population. Well, I'd like to go on with this chat, but the time has come to play You Bet Your Life. You both know how to play this game?
In the race for the $2,000, the first couple won $290, and the secret word is name.
Now, you've selected a thumbnail movie quiz. I'll give you a brief synopsis of some of the most famous movies of all time, and you give me the title of the movie. Some of these go quite a way back, and remember, the more the questions were, the tougher they are.
We'll try 50, Groucho.
$50. Well, that's a good Scottish right. My brothers and I made a picture in which practically the whole cast was crowded into a small stateroom in one scene. What was the name of this movie?
Seven Brides for Seven Brothers.
That would have been a much better title, but it happened to be A Night at the Opera. Now what are you going to try?
You have $50 left from the 100.
So we'll shoot for the other 50, huh, Pedro?
Well, you can go for 40 or 60. 50 has been taken now.
50's been taken. We'll take 60.
60. In 1934, both Claudette Colbert and Clark Gable won Academy Awards for their parts in a Frank Capra comedy. You tell me the name of it.
It happened one night.
What was that?
It happened one night.
That's right. It happened one night.
You now have $110.
Now, what are you going to try? 70? 80?
We'll try for 100, Groucho.
100. In 1928, Buddy Rogers, Clara Bow, and Richard Arlen starred in the first big picture about World War I flyers. What was the name of this picture?
We Fly Alone?
Hell's Angels.
No, that's very nice, but you're both wrong. Huh? It was Wings.
You now have $55.
All right, you still got a chance. Now, what are you going to go for? Little ones are easy.
We'll go for 80, Groucho.
80. In 1942, Greer Garson, that's a countrywoman of yours, and Walter Pidgeon starred in a movie about an English family during World War II. What was the name of this picture?
It's Mrs. Miniver.
That's right. Mrs. Miniver's right.
And you wind up with $135. We have a couple of special guests for you now. Mrs. Binnie Dick, who is a housewife, and her partner, the world's top-ranking professional tennis player, Pancho Gonzalez. So, folks, you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Say the secret word and divide $101. It's a common word, something you always have with you. Pancho, give me 5.
All right.
Glad to see you.
Nice to see you.
And you're Mrs. Binnie Dick, eh? Benny, shake hands with the world's best tennis player.
Hello, Benny.
Hello, Pancho.
He's the only man in the world who has a better racket than I have. Pancho, I'll get around to you in a minute, but first I'd like to get better acquainted with Minnie. Oh, Benny. Are you a native Californian, Benny?
No, I was born in St. James, Missouri.
And do you live in Missouri now?
No, I'm a resident of Liberal, Kansas now.
Oh. Well, Pancho, I'll get back to you, Benny, but let's find out something about you. I know a lot about you, but let us find out some more. Where are you from, Pancho?
Oh, I'm right here from Los Angeles.
Are you married, Pancho, or do you just play singles?
No, I'm married.
Well, you can't win every time. How long have you been playing pro tennis?
I turned professional in October 1949.
Is there as much money in professional tennis as there is in amateur tennis?
Well, I think there's a little more, but by the time income tax gets to us, they beat us.
You might just as well be playing Seabright in Forest Hills.
That's right, yes.
Why are you the best tennis player in the world, man?
Well,
I know Kramer's getting fat, but...
Well, he's getting fat in more ways than one.
You don't mean up here, huh?
Oh, no, that stays the same. I think I've just been fortunate to play well during the championships, and I've won them.
Well, you're just wonderful to watch out there. Do you do anything else besides playing tennis, Pancho?
Yes, I go into endorsements. I have a Pancho Gonzalez tennis short, the shirt, and my racket, which I try to promote when I'm here at home.
Are you interested in tennis, Benny?
No, I'm just interested in pancake racing.
In Pancho racing? You want to race him? Pancake racing? Yeah. I've never seen a pancake race. I've seen a waffle iron.
Well, this is a little different.
What is a pancake race? Is that a new race that we're getting from the moon or something?
Pancake race is where the women race down the street 415 yards carrying a skillet with a pancake, flipping it 3 times.
Why don't they run with steaks? I saw a steak race at Santa Anita last year.
Pancakes are easier to flip.
I sat in the grandstand licking my chaps when my horse came. Well, this is a whole new world that you're opening up here, Benny. Is this craze for pancake racing strictly a liberal affair? Or
no, it's international.
This craze is sweeping the country.
It's international.
Imagine sweeping the country with a pancake. It's an international race?
Yes.
What other countries compete against this?
Only England.
Mm-hmm.
And
they have
women...
a town called Liberal, too, in England?
Only.
Only Liberal?
Only England and Liberal, Kansas.
Only England and Liberal race
Only
in
is
this.
a little village in...
Oh, only is a village over
in
there.
In England.
Oh, I see.
The times are compared by transatlantic telephone call after the race has been run.
Well, who's ahead now, England or Liberal?
It's even now, 3 and 3.
I looked in the Wall Street Journal. It wasn't in there this morning.
It started in...
It just said I was wiped out in 3 of my stocks. But there wasn't any mention of your pancakes at all.
Well, it's an old sport in England.
Well,
in fact,
I'm an old sport here, but that didn't...
It's over 500 years old in England.
Well, I'm not quite that old, but I'm moving along rapidly towards it. How have you made out in this international flapjack race?
I have won the American in 3 times, and I have won the international twice.
No, well, I want to congratulate you. I'm surrounded by world's champions tonight. Huh? Pancho, how do you feel standing next to a world's champion?
Feel pretty good.
You've got more syrup than her pancakes. How fast was your time in these races, Benny?
I hold the world's record of 1 minute 5 and 1/10 seconds.
That's fantastic. You must be grease lightning out there in the track. Have you ever thought of entering the Olympics?
I seriously considered it. However, I am considered pro because I have accepted $350 prize money for running the race.
I'm sorry to hear that. Without you on our team, the U.S. is certainly going to get flattened in the pancake race. Well, I'd like to go on talking to you two, but the time has come to play You Bet Your Life.
In the race for the $2,000, the first couple still leads with $290.
You selected small towns and cities of the United States. Let's see if you can beat our other couples. I'll list 6 cities and towns all in the same state, and you tell me in what state they're located. Remember, the more the question's worth, the harder it is. Now, you can start with 10, 20, all the way to 100. What do you want to start with?
90.
One answer between you.
100 on the first
100? You're in the finals already, huh?
Well, that's my boss over here.
Oh. All right, what state are these towns and cities in? Green Cove Springs, Dade City, D-A-D-E, Fort Myers, St. Augustine, Live Oak, and D-Land.
Sounds like Florida.
We think.
Florida?
Florida is right.
You'll now have $200.
That's great.
Well, you're not home yet, Pancho.
No, it just reminded me of the professional tournament they hold in St. Augustine.
Oh. Well, now what are you going to go for?
Should we go for 90?
I guess.
90.
90? Here are the towns and cities. Vicksburg, Rolling Fork, Yazoo City, Natchez, Belzoni, and Wiggins. What state are they in? Vicksburg, Rolling Fork, Yazoo City, Natchez, Belzoni, and Wiggins.
Massachusetts?
No, you're quite a ways off. It's Mississippi.
All right.
Well, you're back where you started. You still have $100.
You know, if Mississippi asked Missouri for her New Jersey, what would Delaware? Idaho, Alaska. That's what we used to say in school. And until I go back to school, I'm never going to repeat that again. What are you going to go for, Panch?
Be 80 now, I guess.
Panch. What state are all these towns and cities in? Crown Point, Red Key, Rising Sun, Tell City, Kokomo, and Angola.
Indiana. Indiana?
Right.
And you now have $180.
Now you can go all the way from 10 to 70. Last chance to beat the other couples. 70? Here are the towns and cities. Bonners Ferry, Soda Springs, Moscow, Boise, Blackfoot, and Jerome. What is the state?
Idaho.
Idaho is right.
And you wind up with $250.
Thank you.
And here they are, Groucho, Mrs. Thompson, and Ben Zeppa, all set for the $2,000 question.
Here. All right, here we go for $2,000. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you. Think carefully, and please no help from the audience. Here it is. Captain James Cook discovered the Hawaiian Islands in 1778. For $2,000, what name did Captain Cook give to the Hawaiian Islands? What's the answer you two have decided upon?
I don't know if this is right.
What?
Bahamas?
No, you're wrong. It's the Sandwich Islands.
Ooh.
So that means the big question next week will be worth $2,500. Well, they lost the big money. How much did they win the quiz, George?
$290 in the quiz.
And didn't they win the secret word?
Yes, oh, yeah.
Well, how much is that total now?
$390.
No, what about the $1, George?
Oh, I've forgotten about that. $391.
That's better, George. Well, congratulations, and thanks to both of you and to all of our contestants on the show tonight.
DeSoto and the DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast present Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life. And now, here he is, the one, the only...
You'll never take him alive. Oh, that's me.
DeSoto, Plymouth, both products of the Chrysler Corporation.
Friends, go in to see your DeSoto Plymouth dealer tomorrow. And when you do, tell him Groucho sent you.
Now, here he is, the one, the only...
The same $1,000 we had last week. For the first time in 9 years, we had somebody up here who talked more than I did. And we ran out of time. And, George, you tell them what we decided to do.
Well, last week, Mrs.
Not last week.
That's how I feel. Last week, Mrs.
That's Donald Meek.
Last week, Mrs. Esther Bradley and her partner, Joe Egbert, used up all our time. So we asked the other couples on our show last week if they'd come back tonight, and they said they would to play You Bet Your Life, and so Mrs. Bradley is here, Joe Egbert is here, and another partner that she picked up along the way,
he volunteered, I think.
He's a sailor.
Yeah.
So I guess they're all here now, and the show starts over just like a regular show, and we're going to play You Bet Your Life, and the one that wins the most money gets the chance at the $1,000 question.
That's right. Now, if either of our couples tonight say the secret word, the duck will come down and pay him an extra $100. And the word tonight is door. All right, George, let's go now.
Mrs. Helen Swartz, Mr. Isaac Kashdan are first, Groucho. So, folks, you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Say the secret word, and you'll split $100. It's a common word, something you'll find around the house. Mr. Isaac Kashdan and Mrs. Helen Schwartz. Mrs. Schwartz, may I call you Helen?
Yes, Mr. Marx, you may, but everybody calls me Mama.
Well, if everybody calls you Mama, I don't want to be with the riffraff. I'll call you Mrs. Schwartz. Where are you from, Mrs. Schwartz? Paraguay? Sooner or later,
No.
somebody's bound to be from Paraguay on this
I'm
show.
from Hungary.
Uruguay? What?
Hungary, Lotions.
Oh, I'm from Hungary, too, but where are you from?
Hungary, Lotions.
Hungry Lotions?
Lotions is the name of the city.
Oh, a city. I thought it was
Yes.
something you got at the delicatessen, huh? What do you remember about this obscure village?
Not much. I was about 6 years old when I left there.
Oh, that's about
And,
35 years ago, huh?
Yes.
How did you meet your husband, Helen? I assume you have one.
Yes, I do. I met him at the dance, Mr. Marx.
Kazatsky?
No, Chardash.
Oh. I thought that was something you get in a delicatessen. What's a shardash?
It's a Hungarian dance.
Could you give us a sample of it?
Surely, but not alone. I couldn't. Would you?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, I have no idea how you do this, but I'm certainly willing to try. What do you do? Could you give us a shardash over there, Judge? Oh, we get acquainted fast up here. Huh? Now, let's see. Your name is Isaac Ashcan.
No, Groucho, it's Kashdan.
Oh, you're a Japanese Kashdan, is that it? Huh?
Something like that. Sometimes they say cash down.
Oh, that's when they want to get a laugh, I guess.
Something
huh?
like that.
Well, what is your claim to fame, Isaac? Well, almost everybody. Are you a midget race driver?
No, I'm a chess player.
Chess? Are you a good player?
My title is International Grandmaster.
Well, that's very impressive. Now, what is an international grandmaster? Is that anything like a local shave master?
Not quite. That's the highest title you can get in chess besides the world's champion. There are just 3 of us in the United States, and I think something like 27 in the entire world.
You must be pretty good, huh?
Well, they sometimes say that.
Doesn't frighten me in the least, Isaac. I'll challenge you to a chess game any day of the week and bet you $500. Are you game?
I'll tell you, Groucho, I just happen to have a little time tonight. And if you're interested, I'll play a blindfold.
Why do you want to blindfold yourself? Don't you want to look at me?
Well, I think I can play the game just about as well.
You really think you could beat me blindfolded?
I've played several people at the same time blindfold and done pretty well, Groucho.
Of course, you realize if you're blindfolded, I'm going to cheat.
Well, they have referees when they do this. And if I have any choice in the referee, I'll make sure he watches you as carefully as he does me. It's pretty hard to cheat in chess because there are very standard international rules. And if you follow the rules, this is one game where you really can't cheat.
If I can't cheat, forget it.
There goes $500.
The only fun I have playing any game is cheating. Chess is a little over my head. Well, actually, my chess is below my head, but Could you give me a sample play? I mean, a simple one that Mrs. Schwartz and I would understand?
Well, I'll give you a game of chess, which I think is fairly simple. White starts, plays pawn to king 4. and black plays pawn to king 4. And white goes bishop to bishop 4, and black makes the same reply. And white goes queen to rook 5. Black's answer is king knight to bishop 3. And white plays queen takes pawn, checkmate, the game is over. And who has the $500?
Mrs. Schwartz, will you give him $500 for me, huh? Well, I've heard you have to be a mathematical genius to be a good chess player. Is this true, or could a fellow like me take it up?
Well, you don't have to be a mathematical genius or a wizard of any kind. You can be illiterate, uneducated, and still play a pretty good game of chess.
Isaac, you've described me to a T. Shake hands with the next world's champion. And I'm still going to cheat. Mrs. Schwartz, what's your hobby? Are you a chess player, or do you prefer ice hockey?
No, Mr. Marx. My hobby is movies.
Movies? You just like someplace to go to take your shoes off, is that it? You're popcorn happy. Huh?
That's right.
What kind of pictures do you like? Musicals, dramas, westerns, or comedies?
Oh, I don't care what they are, as long as Tony Curtis is in them.
Well, that's the way I feel. I don't care what kind of a picture it is, as long as it doesn't have Tony Curtis in it.
No.
Well, why Tony Curtis, Mama? What's so fascinating about him?
Oh, because he's just the handsomest man on this earth. He's so wonderful, and when he's got talent and those big blue eyes, and he's on the screen, you just can't help but to just lose yourself.
Aren't you a little old to be a Bobby Soxer? I should think you'd prefer someone more mature, like Clark Gable or Bogart or Freddie Bartholomew. Why Tony Curtis?
Because I'm his mother.
Really? Well, no wonder your criticism is so impartial. Does Tony come from a theatrical family?
Well, his father was an actor in Budapest, Hungary.
Did you know this when you married him?
Yes.
Well, do you have any talent outside of typesickery?
No, I just used to sing a little bit, but when
well, how much singing did you do? Were you on the stage?
No, I just once called my Tony through the window, called him to come in, and a cantor neighbor of ours heard me, and he came right over and he says, sing.
He said, sink? Were you in the river?
He told me to sing for him.
Oh, who did this?
A cantor.
Oh, boy, that cantor doesn't overlook a trick, does he? Well, you're a nice couple, and I hope you get married someday. Now, Mrs. Schwartz, I've kidded you about your son, but actually I know Tony. I've had dinner with him in New York. He's a good actor. He's a cute guy, and he's one of the biggest box office drawers in the whole movie industry.
Thank you, sir.
And you can be very proud of him. I presume you both know how to play You Bet Your Life? Now, you selected London, Paris, and Rome as your category. These are questions on the 3 major European capitals. Let's see what you know about them. Remember, the more the questions were, the harder it is. Have you ever played chess, George?
No,
You have any knowledge of it at all?
None whatsoever.
I've yet to find any subject that you have any knowledge of. All right, now, what do you want to start with? 10, 20, 50 to 100?
Oh, the 100?
The small sums are obviously easier than the big ones.
$100.
100. There's a famous district of wharves and warehouses that is the residential area for the Chinese population of London. What is this district called? It's in London.
I believe it's the East End, Groucho.
No, it was a famous song written about it. It's Limehouse.
Well, you lost half your 100. You still have $50.
Now what are you going to go for?
Should we try for the 90?
90? All right, Paris has 2 chief airports. One is Orly, O-R-L-Y. What is the name of the other one? Very famous in history.
Sorry.
It's Le Bourget. It's where Lindbergh landed.
That's right.
You now have $25.
Oh, well, this is just awful for a chess champion. You want to go for 80?
Shall we try?
Let's try.
80, all right. What is the name of the building formerly used as a place of imprisonment that now houses the crown jewels of England?
It's the Tower of London.
That's right, the Tower of London.
$105.
Now 70?
I guess we'll try for 70.
It's your last chance to beat the other couples. On how many hills was Rome originally built? And I want the exact number.
7 hills.
7? You must be an old dice shooter. 7 is right.
Wind up with $175. Groucho, Mrs. Rose Westlake and Mr. Miguel Pinell are waiting to talk to you. So, folks, you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you find around the house. Rose Westlake and Miguel Pinell. Rose, where are you from?
San Francisco. I was born there right a few months before the earthquake.
Earthquake?
Mm-hmm.
Fire, you mean, don't you?
Well, it was both, but the earthquake started it.
Oh. Don't you ever go back to Frisco, then?
Oh, I like Frisco when I'm there. I like here when I'm there. I like every place when I'm there.
Oh, do you?
Mm-hmm.
Are you married, Rose?
No, I'm a widow.
Widow, huh? Have you thought about getting married again?
No, I have a one-track mind, and I've had the nesting urge so badly now. I just want to settle down and just feel like I belong someplace.
You have a nesting urge?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Rose, you're welcome to use my avocado tree any old time you want. I only ask one thing of you. Don't cackle before 7 in the morning. Now, Miguel Pinell, eh? Where are you from, Miguel?
I am from Nicaragua.
Nicaragua?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's a nice country around there. Whereabouts in Nicaragua?
Well, you know, I was born in Granada. It's a very small town.
Granada's in Spain, isn't it?
No, we have another Granada, Nicaragua.
Oh.
That's very nice, too.
Well, were you ever involved in one of the frequent revolutions?
Oh, I was just a child then.
Oh. Well, don't they have revolutions for children down there, too? Are you married, Miguel?
I'm engaged, you know.
You're engaged?
Yes.
Well, you mean your gay bachelor days are almost over? Don't you miss playing the field, Miguel?
Oh, I have 2 or 3 girlfriends to go around with.
I see.
Yes.
These are spares, huh? You're engaged and you have 3 or 4 girlfriends?
Yes, you know.
You're a real scoundrel, Miguel. What has your fiancée got to say about your flitting from flower to flower?
Oh, she doesn't know that. She's in Nicaragua. Back in the old country.
Why, you're a Central American Casanova, huh?
Oh, you want to call it that? It's okay.
Well, when did you last see your beloved?
When I left Nicaragua 3 years ago.
Does she still remember you?
I hope so. Well, we write each other once in a while, you know.
I knew Latins were great lovers, but
well,
if your girl still remembers you after 3 years, you must be sensational. You may be another Groucho Marx in time. Miguel, what makes you think your girlfriend hasn't got 4 or 5 boyfriends in Nicaragua? She may also be flitting from flower to flower. Has that ever occurred to you?
That's what you think, you know. She is very conservative, and my sister's watching her from me.
Well, if your sister is anything like you, I've only one question. Who's keeping an eye on your sister?
Her husband.
Her husband is keeping an eye on your girlfriend?
On my sister. My sister keeping an eye on my girlfriend.
No.
Works perfectly.
Well, what do you regard as perfect? I mean, you have her sitting home at night there?
Well, she's planning to come over the United States, you know, to meet me and marry me.
Oh.
I mean, my girlfriend.
That means you'll have to discard all these other...
Yes, sir. You
and
said
don't
it.
you regret that?
I do regret it.
Why don't you write to your sister and prevail upon your girlfriend to remain in Nicaragua?
No, because I have to get married someday, you know, so better sooner than later. Don't you think so?
Well, you're kind of conditioned to this now, huh?
That's it. You said.
Well, where do you work, Romeo? I mean, Miguel.
Romeo, well, your Romeo works at Camp Hardware Company.
You work for a hardware company?
Yes,
huh?
sir.
Well, do you have any outside interests, hobbies or anything?
Oh, yes, well, I would like to be an actor, you know, and taking lessons now.
What have you learned about acting?
Well, we have had some basics, you know, very simple things that are very important for acting.
Basic?
Yeah, like sitting, how to stand right, you know, things like that.
You had to learn the right and the wrong way to sit down?
Yeah, both. So you can see the difference.
Could you show us how you sit down?
Well, I would like to try
I'll get
if you...
George. No, I get a chair. George, bring out a chair. I've never seen a Central American sit down. I'd like to see it.
You will say it.
Now, you sit in a chair. I may have been doing it all wrong all these years.
Well, it's kind of close, you know. I'm going to go over there and then back and sit down.
Okay, well, you go over there, but come back again, huh?
Oh, I will, for sure.
Now, you show us the correct way to sit down.
Yes, you know, you come over here to sit down. Then, you know, you can use your hands naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And there you are.
That's pretty good.
You know, that's the correct way.
Now, show us the incorrect way.
Oh, the incorrect way can be done too many different ways, you know. You can come over here, sit down, like that.
Miguel, I predict in just a few short years you'll be getting an Oscar. Of course, I also predicted that Pittsburgh would win the World Series. Now, Rose, how do you feel standing this close to an eminent actor? Are you thrilled?
Well, no, you see, I'm used to it. I've been in show business all my life.
You've been in show business?
Mm-hmm.
Really? I should have realized you were in show business. You have that air about you. What did you do? Shakespeare, Moliere, Shaw, Chekhov?
No, I'm Fifi, the sheep-headed girl on the sideshow.
The sheep-headed girl?
That's right.
Well, Rose, you look perfectly normal to me. In fact, you look very good. In what way are you sheep-headed? Are you fond of wool
On the
gathering?
head.
Huh?
On the head.
I don't understand this.
Well, you see, I carry it around this way. I never cut off my act. You see, I did cut off part of this. Is rather unexpected, or I could probably do it better.
Well, let me hold your hat. Maybe that'll
Oh, that's
make it
wonderful
easier
of you.
for
I just love being the whole things for me. Don't go away with it.
No,
Oh,
I
say.
won't. Well, I'll be back in a few minutes. Has she gone yet? Oh.
The house.
Oh, that's very interesting.
When I was about 3 or 4 years old, my hair just started getting funny, and everybody said, oh, the little girl looks like a sheep, and all that sort of thing. So there's only 2 things to do. If you have something that's odd, you either conceal it or you reveal it. So I decided to cash in on it. Fate handed me a lemon. I made lemonade out of it, so I just turned myself into Fifi.
Well, what did you do in this act now that you got the hair like that?
Well, first of all, the man would introduce me. He would say, now, ladies and gentlemen, we present the inimitable Fifi. Now, that's me. Now, my friends, I'm called Fifi, the sheep-headed girl. I'm sure you may look at me and know why. I was discovered living among the natives by a band of British surveyors, believing me to be a child that had been kidnapped by the natives, or perhaps a child of missionaries that had perished in the jungle, or even perhaps a native of some race that never has been discovered. Maybe the reason so many explorers never came home.
Okay, that's fine, huh? Well, I certainly hope I never sit in back of you at a hair-raising movie. You got a great act, Rose. But what do you do for an encore?
Well, for an encore, I could go into my dance.
Oh, well, let's have that, too.
You want to get the joint closed?
What music do you use? What kind of music?
Oh, some Hawaiian music.
Some Hawaiian music, Jack, huh? Get in the act now, Miguel. Well, I'm off to the South Seas in the morning. Well, you're certainly a couple of odd fellas, and I'd like to go on talking to you two. I'd like to go on talking to you two, but the odd fellas are meeting tonight, so let's play You Bet Your Life. You both know how to play the game?
Well, I've played some games. I don't know about this one.
Well, this may be a little mild, Rose, but it won't take long. Now, you selected cities of foreign countries.
Yes, sir.
And your partners and one answer between you. I'll give you the name of 2 cities of a foreign country. Want to get under that? I'll give you the names of 2 cities of a foreign country, and you tell me the name of the country. And remember, the more the question is worth, the harder it is. Now, what do you want to start with? 10, 20, 30, up to 100?
About 50.
50?
50, yes.
All right, here are the cities. Valparaiso and Santiago. What is the country?
Chile.
Chile is right.
You now have $150.
75.
No, 70 or 80?
80, make it.
80?
Mm-hmm.
Here are the cities, Calgary and Windsor. What is the country?
Say again, please.
Calgary and Windsor.
Canada.
Canada is correct.
You now have $230.
Now, what are you going to go?
Make it $60.
$60.
Mm-hmm.
Here are the cities, Auckland, Auckland, and Wellington. You tell me the country.
Australia. United States.
Auckland and Wellington.
Make the United States.
No, it's New Zealand.
New Zealand?
You were close, Australia. But...
You lost half of your $230. You now have $115.
All right, now you still have something to go.
Well, make it 60 again.
60? No, you've failed on 60. I wouldn't try that again. Although
Well,
this time you'd probably know the answer.
Okay, let's try.
40?
No, I'd say 60.
70?
70, okay.
You've had 60. 70, yeah?
Uh-huh.
Here are the cities, Bonn and Cologne. B-O-N-N and Cologne. Now, you tell me the country.
Germany.
Germany is right. Don't go any further. Huh?
And you wind up with $185.
Well,
and that means that in just 1 minute, Mrs. Esther Bradley and her partners, Joe Egbert and Pat Hunt, who won $275 last week, are still high and get the chance at the $1,000 question. Now, Groucho, here are Mrs. Esther Bradley, Mr. Joe Egbert, and Pat Hunt, all set for the $1,000 question. I'm right back in here. You get in the middle.
Esther, I'm glad to see you again. We had a lot of fun last week, and I'm happy to see you finally get the chance at the big question. And, Mr. Egbert, have you worked out a satisfactory way of dividing the money with the sailor if you should win?
Yes, Groucho, we've decided that we'll split it 3 ways.
Well, I think that's very fair. You feel all right about this?
Yes, sir.
Well, what would you do with your share if you should win tonight?
Well, with 3 children, Groucho, I
You
think...
have 3 children?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you don't have a girl in every port, huh? All right, now let's go. And good luck to all of you. Now, here's the big question. We're going to go for $1,000. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you, so think carefully and please no help from the audience. On December 2nd, 1955, the American Federation of Labor and the Congress of Industrial Organizations merged into a single union. For $1,000, who was the first president of the AFL-CIO? Now, you can talk it over, the 3 of you. All right, what is the answer you 3 have decided upon?
Was that the president of this current union?
It's the president of the current union.
What'd you say before? Sounded better.
No. It's the president right at the present time.
Yeah, well, what is it? Who is it?
George Meany.
George Meany is right. Well, you win $1,000, and how much did they win in the quiz, George?
$275. Remember, your DeSoto dealer sells 2 great cars. The outstanding 170-horsepower DeSoto Fire Dome V8 and the beautiful 54 Plymouth. America's best buy low-price car. DeSoto, Plymouth, both products of the Chrysler Corporation.
Friends, go in to see your DeSoto Plymouth dealer tomorrow. And when you do, tell him Groucho sent you.
Be sure to tune in next week, same time, same station, for Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life. Brought to you by your DeSoto Plymouth dealer. And don't forget to listen to You Bet Your Life every Wednesday night on radio.
where are you from?
I was from...
Oh, you're the doctor.
I'm the doctor.
Oh.
That's right, Groucho. I came from Iloilo in the island of Panay in the Philippines.
Did you have any particular reason for coming to this country?
Yes, I was awarded a 4-year scholarship in medicine at the University of Michigan at Ann Arbor.
Are you married, doctor, or is your pulse normal?
Well, I think my pulse is normal now. I have been married 13 years to the same man.
Oh. You regard him now with equanimity, is that it?
I think so.
How did you meet Mr. Demandenti?
Well, Groucho, that's really my name, my professional name. His name is Aspirin.
And actually, you're Dr. Aspirin, huh?
Well,
That's pretty hard to swallow, isn't it? You give fast, effective relief?
Oh, I think so. I hope so, anyway.
I hope so, too. Where is your office, Doc?
In Wilmington, Groucho, in the Los Angeles Harbor.
Oh. Well, that's the place for a dock, down in the harbor. You're a pretty healthy-looking lad, Jeff. How old are you?
77, Groucho.
77? Must be some miracle drugs you're taking. I thought you were about 8 years old. How do you explain your youthful appearance, Jeff? Is it lots of wine, women, and song?
No, Groucho. Outdoors. Working outdoors. I work horses. I rode horses all my life. In fact, I rode horses before I was born.
Before you were born?
My mother rode...
That's quite a trick at that.
My mother rode from Paducah, Kentucky on the Tennessee walking horse, side saddle, to her father's 35-mile, and after I was born, she rode back with me in her arms. That's how near I came being born on a horse.
Is that so? Well, did the doctor spank you, curry you, or slap a brand on you? You say it was a Tennessee walking horse?
Yes, sir.
Is that the fellow who rode Cat on a Hot Tin Roof? Jeff, are you still working with horses?
Yes, Groucho. I'm what you call a horse psychiatrist.
A horse psychiatrist?
Right.
You must have the biggest couch in town. I suppose you get a lot of horses whose wives are nags, huh?
Oh, yes, very much. Very many.
Well, do you seriously mean that horses have emotional problems?
Well, they do.
Really?
Sure.
Well, suppose somebody brings a horse to you. Now, how do you go about analyzing him? Can you tell anything about him by just looking at him?
Yes, you can.
You can, huh?
Yes. You can tell by looking at his, his big white around his eyes and a little narrow between the eyes on the skull.
I'll thank you not to get personal, Mr. Barnard. You're speaking of the one I love, me. Well, I'd like to go on continuing this, but the time has come to play You Bet Your Life. Now, remember, we start you off with a bale of hay. No, I mean, $100. You miss a question, you lose half your bankroll. Now, we want one answer between you on all these questions. This is a spelling quiz. Now, what do you want to start with?
70.
70. You spell the word jealousy, meaning grudging, envy, mistrust, or envious suspicion.
Jealousy. Jealousy.
That is absolutely precisely correct.
You now have $170.
Now you can go on to a harder word or an easier one.
80.
80. Spell the word immaculate, meaning pure, spotless, without flaw, like me.
Immaculate. I-M-M-A-C-U-L-A-T-E. Immaculate.
You're a credit to the University of Michigan.
You now have $250.
Spell the word genealogy, meaning the history of a person, family, or group.
Genealogy. G-E-N-E-A-L-O-G-Y. Genealogy.
Are you sure you didn't go to Rutgers?
You now have $340.
Yes, you have. Now you can go for 100. 100. Spell the word exhilarate, meaning to make merry, to gladden, cheer.
Accelerate. E-X-H-I-L-A-R-A-T-E. Accelerate.
You're a very sharp cookie. You're...
And you went all the way. You're going to check with $440.
Japan, 1989. During the last 40 years, Japan has risen from the agony and ashes of defeat to become one of the world's major powers. This is Lee Kiner. For an insight into Japan's culture and a comparison with ours, join me for Japan, the Modern Empire, Tuesday at 8.
Right now, however, we have some more people for you to meet, Groucho. A couple of young people, Cassandra Costello and Desmond Slattery. So, folks, you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Say the secret word and you'll divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Now, let's see. Cassandra Costello and Desmond Slattery. Those names are certainly euphonious. They're about as phonious as any I've ever heard. Cassandra, what is your real moniker?
That's my true name.
That's your true name, eh? Well, that's a very pretty name.
Thank you.
Why did your parents tag you with a name like that?
Oh, it's from Greek mythology.
Oh. Where are you from, Cassandra?
St. Louis, Missouri.
St. Louis, Mo, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know Harry Truman? No, he's from Kansas City, isn't he? What did you do in St. Louis?
I lived there all my life. I went to school there, and I finished college and went to dramatic school.
Oh. You're an actress?
I hope to be. I'm studying drama now.
Oh. And let's see now. Your name is Jeff Barnyard?
No, my name is Desmond Slattery.
Oh, well, wait a minute. Your name is Desmond Slattery, and your name is Cassandra Costello. Now we've got it all straight. Desmond, the first thing I want to ask you is, what is the reason for your long locks? Do you object to the big prices and small talk you get from the average barber?
No, I'm preparing to be Robin Hood.
Well, I'm preparing to be Napoleon. But I don't go around with my hand on my stomach. In what way are you preparing to be Robin Hood?
I'm preparing to do a television and film series when color comes.
Really? Well, isn't Robin Hood already on the air? Is that you?
No, that's not me. But I intend to be ready when the color version, with the color version.
Oh. Well, let's get some of your background, Desmond. Where are you from? Are you desperate, Desmond?
No. I'm desperately working on this project, but I'm from Wichita, Kansas.
Oh. What happened in Wichita that...
Well, I was born there, and I went to school there, and that's where I got my first taste of the theater.
I got my first taste of the theater in Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Some wise guy in the audience hit me in the mouth with a squash. I was singing Love Me and the World Is Mine at the time. I care not for the stars that shine. Bing, came the squash. You're a very interesting couple, and I wish both of you the best of luck with your respective careers.
Thank you.
Now let's hope you win some money.
In the race for the $1,000, the first couple won $440, and the secret word is hat.
Thumbnail movie quiz. I'll give you a brief synopsis of some famous movies. You give me the title of the pictures. Some of these go back quite a way. And remember, the more the questions worth, the tougher it is. How much you want to start with?
$100.
$100. Victor McClellan got an Oscar for his portrayal of a man who betrayed his friends during the Irish Rebellion. What picture was it?
The Informer.
That's right, The Informer.
You now have $200.
These are easy. 90. In 1949, Brod Crawford scored as a man who rose to power in politics by letting nothing stand in his way. What was the name of this picture?
All the King's Men?
Absolutely correct.
You now have $390.
Now what, 80? 80. One of Jane Wyman's best roles was that of a shy little mute who fell in love with a young doctor. What was the name of this picture?
I think it was Johnny Belinda, wasn't it? Johnny Belinda?
Johnny Belinda is right.
You now have $370.
Now, what do you want this time? Your last chance to beat the other couple. $70. In 1948, Olivia de Havilland appeared as an inmate of a mental hospital. What was the name of that picture?
The Snake Pit.
Snake Pit is right.
And you wind up with $440. A housewife on deck for you now. She's Mrs. Dorothy Strout.
Well, shiver my timbers.
I won't bother to introduce her partner. I'm sure you'll recognize him. So, folks, you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Say the secret word and... You say the secret word, you'll divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day.
Okay.
Well, from that applause, Fenneman wasn't exaggerating when he said we had somebody who needed no introduction. It's a great honor to have you here tonight, Mr. Strout. Well, let's see. Who are you again?
My name is Liberace.
Oh, Liberace. Well, give me 5.
Hello, Groucho.
No, for a minute, I thought you were Governor Knight. Lib, we're glad to have you here.
Oh, it's a
You don't
great
object
show.
to me calling you Lib, huh?
Not at all.
As a matter of fact, I'm a prominent member of the Liberace fan club.
Well, that's wonderful.
Last year, I was voted chief candle snuffer. What name do you vote under, Libby?
Well, actually, I believe I'm the only citizen in the United States allowed to vote with one name.
You vote just under one name?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's where we differ. I vote under 12 different names. What do your intimate friends call you, Lib?
Oh, they call me Lee.
Lee. Well, that's nice. That's good enough for me. And Mrs. Strout, you have the honor of standing on the lee side of Liberace. Are you married, Dorothy?
Yes, I am, Groucho.
Sorry to hear that. I was going to see if I could make some business here tonight, huh? Lee, your success has been one of the most extraordinary and biggest in the history of show business. How do you explain this rapid rise? Natural affinity for money?
Well, actually, Groucho, I spent 17 years studying, and I used to practice on the average of 8 hours a day.
Yeah, well, I know you make a lot of money, and I really don't think that's why you're popular, because I think the audience suspects an innate goodness in you that they see in your face and eyes and everything, and that's why I think you're so popular.
That's
Really,
very
this is
nice.
good.
Thank you.
I haven't seen your picture yet, but how is it going, Lib?
Sincerely yours?
Yeah.
Well, it seemed that the critics and the people who did see it liked it very much. There's only one thing wrong with the whole thing is there's not enough people going to see it. And
But what do you attribute this to? If the picture is good and they like your personality, why aren't they going to see it? You think it's television that's keeping them home?
Well, no, it reminds me very, very much of some of the other phases of my career. They all started kind of slow. I didn't mushroom overnight like a lot of people think I did. I was on television many, many times before I hit, you know. And the same thing with nightclubs. I used to have managers come to me and say, "You do such a wonderful act. It's too bad you don't do any business," you know. And then later on...
Did the manager say this the second night or just the first night?
Well, I usually had a pretty good ironclad contract, so he couldn't let me out. But
Well, I don't understand. You toured America a few months ago, and you did enormous business in a personal appearance.
That came after several years of not so full houses, too.
Is it true you actually live in a piano?
Well, not actually, but there are a lot of things in my house that are piano-shaped, tables and picture frames and swimming pool. And I have a collection of miniature pianos that started when I was 7 years of age. Paderewski gave me a little piano that he sent to me from Budapest. And I was so thrilled with it at the time that other friends in show business that I met later in life always would remember me with little pianos. And I also have 2 concert grand pianos that I use in my work.
What about, have you ever heard Irving Berlin's tribute to a piano?
No, I haven't.
Would you like to hear it?
I would love to hear it.
I wouldn't sing it the whole song, but I'd sing you a chorus if I could borrow a guitar from the orchestra. I understand you play guitar, too, huh?
No, I don't.
No?
I just hold it.
Well, that's practically what I do, but I can play a few chords. For this, he took drama at Stanford. Now, I don't know. Just a chorus, I'm going to give you one. I love a piano. I love a piano. I love to have somebody play upon a piano, a grand piano. It simply carries me away. I know a fine way
Steinway. I love to run my fingers o'er the keys, the ivories, and with the pedal, I'd love to meddle when Paderewski comes his way. I'm so excited, if I'm delighted, to hear that long-haired genius play. Keep your finger, keep your bow, give me a P-I-A-N-O-O-O. I love to sit right besides an upright or a high tone baby grand. Well, Leb, it's really been fun talking to you.
I wish I could do that song, but I couldn't use it because, you see, I play the Baldwin, and that doesn't rhyme.
Well, I'm sure Mr. Balin would be happy to change the lyric for you, huh? Well, it's been a lot of fun talking to you two, and I wish we had more time, but unfortunately, we got to get down to serious business, which is the money. This is the sordid part of our show. Now, Lee, you've got a chance to get rich on our quiz here. What are you going to do? What are you going to do with this miniature fortune if you should win?
Well, actually, Groucho, I'm here in the interest of the Heart Fund. This is a very worthy organization, the Heart Association, that needs the help of not only people like myself, but people all over the country. And I would like to appeal to your many, many listeners to give generously to the Heart Association, because this is one crippling disease that has killed more people than all other combined causes. And if I should be fortunate enough to win some money tonight, I'm going to give it to the Heart Association.
Well, point of information, where do the listeners send their contributions?
To their local postmaster.
Well, that's a worthy cause, and I'm all for it. And if I'd known you were going to give your money to the Heart Fund, I'd have let you pick a musical category. But obviously, that wouldn't be fair to our other contestants, because you're real experts on music.
In the race for the $1,000, the first two couples are tied with $440 each.
Now, what do you want to start with? All the way from 10 to 100.
70.
70?
70 with.
All right. Little neck and cherry stones refer to what kind of seafood?
Clams.
Clams is right.
Off to a good start. You have $170.
Now what?
80. 80.
All right. The leek, L-E-E-K, is related to what common vegetable?
Onion.
Onion is right.
Now I have $250.
What now?
90.
90.
What do you call the dish that consists of chunks of lobster removed from the shell and served hot in a creamy, spiced wine sauce? Yum, 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 yum. What do you call the dish that consists of chunks of lobster removed from the shell and served hot in a creamy, spiced wine sauce? Now, you know this.
Let's see.
You know that Heart Fund needs its money now.
You know, there's always two things on the menu. One is Thermidor, and the other one's the other one, which I don't like, so I never order it.
But what is it?
Oh, gosh, what do they call that? Lobster, I know the audience is dying to tell me.
I'd like to tell you, too, huh? Well, you'll kick yourself when you hear it. It's lobster Newburgh.
Newburgh, yes.
Well, you still have $125.
Well, now you still got a ways to go. $100?
The $100.
All right, the kumquat is related to what fruit?
I would say the citrus family, the orange.
All right, orange. That's close enough. With the Heart Fund.
And you wind up with $225. So here are the two couples tied for the chance of the $1,000 question. Each couple will write down his answer on one of these cards. If they all get it right, they will split the money between them.
Are you ready? In Homer's Odyssey, Ulysses had to sail between two sea monsters. Actually, they're a rock and a whirlpool that still remain hazards to navigation in the Straits of Messina. For $1,000, what were the names of these two sea monsters?
Sorry, time's up. Start with Dr. Demandenti here.
You have nothing, huh?
That's right.
No, that's certainly not right, huh? And you have nothing. So, nobody wins the money, but the answer is Scylla and Charybdis. So that means the big question next week will be worth $1,500. Well, you lost the big money, but how much did they win the quiz, George?
Well, each won $440 in the quiz.
Well, thanks to both of you and to all of our contestants on the show tonight.